everyone. I'm Larry.
Nothing on the scoreboard, 0-0 as the offense gets ready to take over the football. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Caught out left side by Robinson. A gain of 6 there on first.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball, because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves its sticks. Good use of the pass there to pick up the first down against a defensive look that they had specifically prepared for, they told us, coming into this one.
Certainly seems like they're holding all the right cards now, doesn't it? Because of their preparation. Went back, watched the tape, studied the tendencies, and they feel like they had them down cold, and they were able to use the pass against them.
Play clock winding down. Here's the first carry now for Todd Gurley. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. So they pick up the first down after the run, and now they approach for the fresh set.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw 2 tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and they ran the ball successfully behind that power set.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. This is caught by Robinson. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. And a nice pitch and catch to pick up the reception against man coverage.
Both of them read how much yardage they needed, figured what they had to do, and were able to beat the man coverage for the completion.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And he comes back with one complete. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Quick pass play there on the slant, Charles. Works out well for the offense.
The offense loves it. The defender hates it. Hard to get through the body of the receiver to get to the football trying to cover a slant.
On 1st down, it's Gurley. He'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19. Paoli Kikaha with a tackle.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And this is caught at the 8. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives them a 1st and goal.
This offense is in rhythm now, just accumulating first downs and moving the ball downfield.
So now it's 1st and goal. On 1st and goal, Gurley. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
Alongside the former defensive back Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Jaguar football as we begin quarter number 2, and they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. Another try on 2nd down with Gurley. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. So backed up to the 6 now, third and goal. from the shotgun. He'll look to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. Man, a tough spot to drop that down here, 3rd and goal.
And so many times when you analyze a play like this, you talk about the people around him and maybe his focus was gone. Sometimes just simply him understanding how close.
And we drop you in at the start of this next possession in a 3-0 ball game. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're not doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
They run. It's Gurley. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there. And he's got his big receiver, Robinson, for the Jacksonville touchdown. So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
Then confidence.
Trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Well, this is one of the downsides of being a rookie quarterback. You know.
So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set to go again. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And they take. So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. They'll try and start the drive with Gurley. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Now, whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Looking deep downfield. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. So we've reached halftime here in Super Bowl 55. Do you seriously just skip the halftime of the Super Bowl? Who does that? It's a Super Bowl. Watch the halftime show. All right, here we go. Third quarter action now. This fielded at the 2. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors. But overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. They'll stick to the ground game with Gurley. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. Adrian Amos up to make the tackle.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up the play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
They get 9 yards there and they get a first down.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
Let's go. They'll look to throw now on first down. And he's got his man in stride, complete. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. And now they're in the hurry up. Now Gurley. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled, except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
So 3rd down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. Let's go. Now a handoff for Gurley. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. Well, at least he was able to break that initial contact, or it could have been a loss.
Yeah, give credit to the defensive player, though. What did he do? Made him slow down, slow up his feet, and allowed the rest of the guys to get there to finish him off.
And Myers able to knock it through. And that will cut this lead back down to 4 now. It's 7. Drop you into the start of this next possession. The score, 7-0. The Jags offense now gets set and heads back onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that. And they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Again, they run with Gurley. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. Yet another carry here tonight for Gurley. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
And when you're trying to set up a counter play, it's what a lot of people call an influence play. You're really hoping those defensive linemen are really agile that day. If they stayed out late the night before the game, they're not moving as fast, it's a lousy call because that means they're just going to sit in the hole that you hope to create just by the movement of your offensive line.
And there they got the ball to the outer third of the field, but tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, things get stacked up in there if they don't move as well as you want them to, and probably just trying to escape and couldn't get away.
Allen Robinson, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. Boy, a call like this, certainly tougher to make in a Super Bowl, but they'll go for it on 4th down. They're going to try and throw. A hit as he throws, and this is going to be incomplete. Boy, so the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Looking middle, and that's complete. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Second down now after the pass completion. And quickly, they get to the line. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. The 20, Corey Coleman. Touchdown, Jaguars. Corey Coleman, 40. Drop you into the start of this next possession. The score, 7-0. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And they're going to need another score. Got one last time, but still down here.
When you're playing catch-up, every possession becomes crucial, doesn't it? It's vital. Get back out on the field, punch it in the end zone again. They know it's not easy, but what they do have going for them, they did score the last time. They think they've got a good formula working.
And what about the defense?
Well, now you're just saying to yourself, okay, give up a score last time. What adjustments do we need to make to slow them down now and get the ball back for our own offense? Is it more pressure? Is it more zone? What do they have to do? They're trying to figure that out themselves.
We'll see if they can figure that out right here. So this offense really needs to make something happen here late in the fourth with the football. Back to throw now on first down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Time starting to run out here in the fourth. This defense just trying to keep the offense off the board and preserve this potential victory. They'll set up a throw, and he's got his man on the out route. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a first and goal. And the offense moving quickly to the line. The offense operating inside the 10 at the 8 here. It's first and goal. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Back to throw here. That is caught at the 7-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's third down. Time for a break. We're back to perhaps crown a champion after this. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. They face a critical third and goal now in a one-score game. They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. So this offense will head back out there already in excellent field position thanks to the interception. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. They have the 3-point lead. Defense did their job. Now, late game. Although it looks good, you know the coaches, they haven't counted this. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. See if they stay on the ground for second down. Here comes a 20th carry for Gurley. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6. And now the Cowboys are going to call another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. The first down line at the 34 here on 3rd down. On the toss, it's Gurley. And some room to work. Touchdown, Jaguars. Todd Gurley, 40 yards. And we drop you into the start of this next possession. The score, 7-0. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. Only one timeout defensively, so this should just be a simple kneel down.
I agree, Tony.
And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. That'll be their third and final stoppage here as we step aside. Another carry now for Gurley. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
Tonight, but I know that they're going to be really ticked off. It's a lot like a baseball pitch.
The Texans are now on the clock. Let's go to Adam Schefter now with more to say about Wood.
He's the type of offensive lineman that doesn't get mentioned often by the commentators, but when they do, it's complimentary. He's a smart, big guy who knows how to play mistake-free at the line. In fact, he won a stretch of games this season in which he didn't allow a single sack. That's an impressive feat for any college offensive lineman, and it's no wonder to see a team take him. He's going to have to adjust to the larger size and strength of NFL defensive linemen, but I think his intangibles are stronger than any lineman in this class.
The Chargers are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. Pick's been made. Let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about the player.
Like football, rugby's a sport that's played with guys of all shapes and sizes. In his case, he was one of the big guys pushing and pulling blocks in the center of the pitch. He was playing rugby for a university in Australia before he was recruited to transfer and play football for 2 seasons here in America. His first year was spent adjusting to the game, getting used to the different rules and how to play his position properly. The guy even had to adjust how he tackled now that he had to wear pads and a helmet. But his second year is really where we started to see what he could potentially do. He's a physical player at the line of scrimmage. The team was able to pick up a good addition to its line with a bit of an interesting history.
The Dolphins are now on the clock. Let's go to Adam Schefter now, who has more to say about Reyes.
He came to his pro day looking a little bit slimmer than he was at the combine. That weight loss seemed to help as he ran a faster 40 and 3 cone drill than he did at the combine. However, he turned in fewer reps on the bench and had less of a burst in his vertical. While he was able to gain some speed, it came at the cost of some of his strength. Now that he's on a team, they'll work with him to make sure he's at an ideal playing size for his role on the line.
The Jaguars are now on the clock. I see both teams filling out cards. You know what that means? We've got a trade. Adam, what can you tell us about that last pick?
You rarely ever saw him tuck it and run back in college. Before the combine, a lot of scouts thought he was one of the slower quarterbacks in the class. However, he showed everyone at Lucas Oil that he can keep up with the rest of them. As Matt Miller put it, he looked more like an athlete rather than just a pocket passer. We've known he can sit and throw as well as the best of them, but he gained some interest when everyone saw that he could run it too. If he becomes the starter, we'll see what kind of offense he'll be running.
The Titans are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. '49ers pick is in. Let's go to Adam, who has more on Gregory.
Every year, there are a number of players who shine in the All-Star game, getting attention around the league. And this year, he was one of those stars. He blew up in the college All-Star game, finishing with multiple sacks and a forced fumble. The one word Matt Miller gave me to describe his play was relentless. He was on top and on the attack all game long, and he never seemed to tire from it. They tried rotating fresh offensive linemen in to stop him, but each one failed to slow him down. Now that he's on a team, he'll just have to wait and see if he can carry over that same aggressive play from college to Sunday.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a trade. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. How come nobody's at the podium? That's because both teams are right now working on a trade. All right, now that the pick's in, let's go to Adam. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
In a surprise move during the season, he left the team, citing personal reasons for the decision. From some of the reports I've heard, it sounds like he had some family issues that he really wanted to settle before the draft. His coach and teammates didn't hold any ill will against him, and actually seemed supportive in his decision. He mentioned to several teams during the combine interviews that he felt a burden lifted off his shoulders, and now he can really focus on football. Despite missing a lot of his senior year, I like this kid a lot, and I think he'll do fine for this team.
Well, wait, looks like both war rooms are feverishly back on the phones. I think that means a trade is coming.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Well, if you're wondering what the delay is, I think we've got a trade coming here.
Now that the Cowboys have made their pick, let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about him.
He entered the season drawing comparisons to some of the most feared defensive linemen in NFL history after a midseason disappearing act that saw him record just 2 tackles in 5 games. Many scouts were left shaking their heads in disbelief. Even with the growing concern over his lack of production, there were some GMs who felt his poor stat lines were a direct result of the increased focus he began receiving as a result of his hot start. One pointed specifically to reports of offensive coordinators fashioning entire game plans around avoiding him, knowing that his fellow linemen were incapable of picking up his mantle. He'll now have a chance to prove believers right, as he's expected to see significant playing time in the preseason with a line far superior to the one he had in college.
Hold on now. This pick is trading teams.
Our very own Adam Schefter has more to say about this pick.
Scouts never want to see a linebacker run a slow 40. After he chose not to run at the combine, he turned in a disappointing 5-second 40 at his pro day. In his case, you could argue there are some great current and former linebackers who weren't the fastest athletes, but they were the exception to the rule. The jury's still out on this kid, but it's clear this team was willing to gamble on him with this pick.
Adam, what can you tell us about the Raiders' newest player?
After turning in an average performance at the combine, his pro day was a last-chance effort to show off his athleticism. He kicked off the day by running his 40 time in just under 5 seconds. Nothing special, but what scouts were most impressed with was his 10-yard split. He tested faster than most other linemen in the draft. At the sound of the gun, he was out of his stance and passed the 10-yard marker in around 1.5 seconds. That's the kind of burst that coaches love to see from their big guys. Also told, he showed great bend in the knees and his footwork was sharp during drills. One GM told me he looked like the most complete lineman in the class, and it's no surprise he's already been picked up. He should be a solid anchor for this team in the future.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
I see both teams filling out cards. You know what that means? We've got a trade.
The Bills are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a trade.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
How come nobody's at the podium? That's because both teams are right now working on a trade.
Adam, what can you tell us about the Chiefs' newest player?
It's unfortunate to see a player recovering from an injury only to have it happen again, especially in an exhibition game. It was one of the rare times I've seen a brutal injury at the annual All-Star game between future NFL players. He took a hit that tore his ACL a second time in less than a year. That kind of injury history might scare away most teams, but it didn't scare away this team from drafting him. I've been told by his agent he's still recovering from the surgery, but he should be ready to play for training camp.
The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock.
Well, wait, looks like both war rooms are feverishly back on the phones. I think that means a trade is coming.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Well, if you're wondering what the delay is, I think we've got a trade coming here.
The Colts pick is in. Adam, give us the rundown.
He's a running back that has amazed and confused scouts and draft experts.